So back at SHOT Show in January, I saw these for the first time, and then at IWA, Matt was showing them off. So the world's known these are coming. Basically, Element is expanding out of just traditional rifle scopes, and they have the new Immersive Series of scopes. Now, immersive is very different than a standard rifle scope, and we're going to go through that. But we were shown this way back in January and March, and here we are in September. Then, surprise, they show up and they're out of dealers. So that's what we're talking about today: is the new line from Element Optics, the Immersive Series. So what is an immersive scope? Another name for it is prismatic, or a prism scope. These are completely different than a traditional rifle scope. With a traditional rifle scope, you have a series of lenses. The light comes through, goes through those lenses, and that's where you get your eye picture, and you can magnify and do all those things. Now, prismatic scope is different. A prismatic scope, the light comes in. There's actually a prism in there that bounces the light around and then exits. So you don't have to do a series of glasses. You can get this really compact, but you still get the advantage of having an etched reticle, illumination, dialing, so you get it really compact, it can be magnified, so you get all these benefits. It's just a different approach. Now, Element has created a series of immersive scopes, but these are very different. This is a 5-30 with traditional eye relief, but these two, it's a 10-50 and a 14-50, but zero eye relief. So you're talking air guns and other recoilless guns. So let's just cover that in the next video, because there's a lot to get your head wrapped around on that. And today we just want to focus on this beauty, the 5-30, and kind of show you the application of it. Now I'm really excited about this. As I mentioned, a 5x30 fixed 5, and you have eye relief on this. So it's, I think it's 88 millimeters or just under 3.5 inches. It's going to look very similar to like red dots or LPVOs, which low power variable optics. And it is very similar, but I think this is the better of those options. There's some huge advantages. As I mentioned with that prism, it's bouncing the light. And then you have, it really looks like a red dot. So you have that fixed picture in there. Basically the glass is really clear, it's ED glass, and it looks like a red dot in the sense compared to a scope where you kind of have to get your eye and it maybe moves a little bit. This is incredibly clear, plus it has a wider field of vision. It's basically 35 to 40% wider than normal scopes. So for instance, at 100 yards, you get 33 feet of viewing, where normal scopes are like in that 22 to 24 foot range. Like your normal scopes, you have your turrets for windage elevation. You'll see that they're capped, not tactical, and that's easy because this is more, you're going to set it, like let's say on an air gun, you'll zero it at 50. You're not going to mess around with it. You're going to set it, you're going to know your holds, you're not playing with it, so that's why we're doing capped turrets. And then this is unusual for a prism scope. We actually have a parallax still. This actually goes from 6 yards to infinity. The reason a lot of scopes like this actually don't have it is with a fixed power, whether I'm looking at 20 yards or 60, it might be a little blurring, but there's not much difference. Well, we don't like a little bit of blurring, so we put the parallax on there because let's say you're used to shooting at 60. Let's get that as clear as possible and really take advantage of that ED glass for target acquisition. Now, the reticles in this we'll talk about in a second, and they're fantastic, but it is an illuminated reticle. So to turn on the illumination, you're going to hold the button in there for just a moment. That'll turn it on. And then there's 6 steps of brightness, and you can cycle through there. What's really cool, once you find the one you like and you're done using it, you can hold it and turn it off. Now, next time when you come back, it doesn't reset to the default one. It'll go to whichever one you selected, so you don't have to mess with that again. And it's just those little details that I love. Other accessories that come included with it, you have magnetic flip covers. These are great, little magnets there to hold them down. You have 2 mounts that come with it for various mounting options, and you have the adjustability. So if you need extra MOA, there's you can see close in there. You can adjust it up or down. Might not need that because again you're probably using this closer quarter, but that gives you options.
I like when the universe gives me easy choices.
And then you'll also notice there's a Picatinny rail that can be mounted on the left, the right, on top. This gives you options to add like an illuminator, or if you wanted to put a red dot on top for like a quick acquisition sight. So plenty of options. I really appreciate that Element includes all these different things, so you really have a one-stop shop here and you're not going to have to worry about adding different accessories.
Let's see what you got.
I'm sorry.
You smell that? What is that?
What?
What's that smell?
The cologne?
No.
Opportunity.
So now let's talk about the applications as I see it and a little bit about the reticles. The reticles, there's an MOA and an MRAD, and they were designed by a gentleman named Ilya Koshkin. He's known as the Dark Lord of Optics. Guys in the industry really know this guy. I think he's an optical physicist. He knows his stuff. He designed these reticles, and really, especially the MOA one, where it's more like an AR application. There's that great ring around it that'll kind of really center your eye for for quick acquisitions, and then obviously the center dot and things for more precise shooting. The MOA is actually designed for the bullet drop and data for 226 Remington and 556 NATO, which that covers a ton of rifles. So if more of an AR setup, which like you see here, that is a fantastic option. And now if you have an AR that's a different chambered round, you can use the app, the Element Optics app, and you can put in what you're shooting, and it'll give you your holds and all the data you need to use that properly.
Wow.
Now, from an airgun standpoint, this is going to be a fantastic, and I would say a go-to optic for you. And it's really, if you find yourself shooting under 100 yards, especially in that 20 to 60 yard range, so if you're, let's say, doing iguanas, this would be great for iguanas, squirrels, birds, and I'm not talking like the Ted's holdover 150 yard shots. This is going to be a great option. So, for instance, here is a Wildcat. And this Wildcat, that's perfect. That is a great little compact stalker gun. So I can get all my holds in that 20 to 70 yard range, and that's going to work extremely well. I will mention that, yes, this is a walnut stock on a Wildcat M3. Extremely limited. This is like the unicorn. If you're in the States, go to Utah Airguns. Overseas, I think maybe Crawley and some things like that. But there are a few of these lingering. So I digress. But that is a great option for that little woods walker. And then I mentioned before, I love iguana hunting down in Florida, Puerto Rico. This is my setup. And what I love about that, nice and quick. This is a great option for like iguana hunting for me, because I can get that nice clear view, a lot of light, because you got to be able to pick them out because they camouflage themselves. I get my shot on it, and let's be honest, if you don't hit them quite right, they're going to move, so I can quickly get my follow-up shot, track them. That is a sweet setup. The Panthera Hunter Compact, and I like it with that folding AR stock. That's sweet. So there you have it. I think that's all the nerdy details about the new Immersive 5 to 30 with eye relief, but let's bring Ernest in here because I want to do the Twitter review.
Excuse me, it is called X now.
3 to 4 sentences. What do you think? Because I know you've been using it.
Oh, I love it. 7 to 50 yards is super wide and clear, and a reticle is beautiful.
So how do you feel about it? It's what? Oh yeah, it's
Usually you pay double for that kind of action, Cotton.
There you go. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll talk about the rest of the Immersive Series.
All right.
Thanks, Ernest.